What's up, everybody? I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And you are listening to the first post-drunk history Liquid Carnage.
Oh, Scott, I had so many responses
So
from
did
the Drunk History podcast that it has been an overwhelming success, even though now a lot of the people probably doubt me even more.
You were amazing. I just want to point that out again. You might have thought that you didn't sound good or get it right, but the way you did it, if Comedy Central does not do your version, I will be disappointed.
Oh, and I want to clean up my version now because now that I'm sober and after listening to it, I was way off on so many facts.
No, you're right. You were. Be that as it may. Be that as it may. The fact that you told us that the Pilgrims introduced Weight Watchers to North America, and it was the perfect holiday episode. So I say kudos to you, sir, and I think our audience knows you were drunk, so you are forgiven.
Yeah, well, I think that all in all, it was a success. Although when I did read at Liquid_EP's comments about the podcast, the last two words of "never again" resonate in my head. Like that bet will no longer be available for the executive producer to approve or be a part of.
No, I agree with that just fine. We'll continue to make our dumbass bets, and we will continue to hopefully do holiday versions of Drunk History, maybe alternating who does it. Maybe we'll put bets on to see who does it. I don't know. We've got time to figure it out. The holidays are right in front of us.
Yes, that's true. And, in our audience, when they go to at Liquid Carnage, on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, can give insight as to who should do the next Drunk History and maybe even a topic.
Oh, that's true. I'll put that on the website, on the old Facebook. And I'll even consult our executive producer, Liquid_EP, that's Tom, to see what his ideas would be. Because maybe it's my turn. Maybe you should do it again. You were perfect, though. I mean, people have not stopped laughing about your version of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think my favorite comment is, please do not listen to this podcast and run at the same time.
Yes.
You will die. That was a good comment.
That was our friend Janelle up in Montana. She's always a loyal listener, Janelle. Thanks for the shout out. We appreciate it. Oh, yeah. So how was your holiday? Was it good? You guys got to relax? You're in Tucson?
Yeah,
in Vegas?
In fact, the day of this recording, I'm still kind of in the holiday because I went down to Noreen's parents in Tucson for Thanksgiving, and then Sunday I drove up to Las Vegas, and I'm spending yesterday, today, and tomorrow with my mom up here in Las Vegas, kind of celebrating a Thanksgiving with her. So it was good. It's good. It's been good so far.
That's good. I mean, you needed the break.
Oh, yeah. It was a long week before Thanksgiving, and I'm not used to that. Usually my weeks before Thanksgiving are pretty dead, like not a lot of stuff going on. It was crazy. It was just a very busy week, so I needed the time off.
Yeah, it's funny because once you get past Thanksgiving, the whole month between Thanksgiving and the end of the year, it seems like some parts of the world start to slow down and wrap up for year end, and other worlds just pick up and get real busy and stay full bore for the whole never stop. They never slow down for the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. So how about you? Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was quiet. It was just my brother, Liquid_EP, and I and my parents this year. So it was kind of nice. And I don't know if you've listened to the news or read the news, but apparently there was a turkey recall because of E. coli and salmonella. Well, romaine lettuce for E. coli, and the turkeys got for salmonella. So being that it was just the four of us this year, my mom and I were discussing the menu options, and I found a thing called a turkey roulade, which is a butterfly turkey breast, butterflied out, and you put like Italian stuffing, like sausage stuffing in it, and wrap it up, and you roast it. Well, as it turns out, our executive producer Tom he's a 40-year-old that has an 85-year-old woman living inside of him that is afraid of anything outside of the box. Because he was convinced we were all going to get salmonella and be sick the rest of the weekend if we had that turkey.
Oh, gosh.
And clearly, we did not. It was amazing.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
well,
we did
that's
not.
good.
Yeah, so yeah, I
That's
pretty
good.
much it was quiet. I watched football most of the weekend. Arizona State kept the Territorial Cup this year.
Oh
21,
man,
21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to beat U of A. So for all U of A fans out there, suck it. Um,
yeah. Even Noreen was like, "Oh man, we're not gonna hear the end of that."
yeah, it's funny because only nobody I really know that watches football went to U of A or can talk trash like that. So I have no one to say anything because the U of A fans will just turn around and say, "Well, we have basketball."
Not this year.
Not this year, no. In fact, one of our friends of the show, Joe Fellers, mentioned that comment on Wild Turkey Wednesday. He was trying to make fun of ASU because his daughter goes to U of A now, and Joe's paying money to go there, so I'll for his daughter to go there, so I'll allow him to make fun of it because if you're paying into the system, you might as well wear the T-shirt,
That's a good,
And
very good point. Very good point.
and I did point out to him while they do have a very good basketball team most of the time, and they're paying players to come play for their sports teams. We are putting rovers and things on Mars at Arizona State, so we're changing the world, and they're buying basketball players
Wow.
for 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a very good distinction. I love it. I love
yeah,
it. That's great. That's great.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it
Oh,
was nice, but I'm glad to be back in the workflow of the week. I'm glad to get back into a routine and get ready for the holiday season. As you know, we are in the midst of the no dating season.
yes. This is the definitely we've shut down dating in this. Well, started after October, but now
Uh,
we're almost into
yeah,
to to Thanksgiving, and now we're going into Christmas. You definitely don't want to date now.
well, yeah. I mean, it's for those that are first-time listeners don't know yet. We have the dating season, which is February 15th through Halloween, October 31st. Once you get to the end of the season, November 1st, it gets to be a tricky slope for dating. Whether it's knowing what to get someone for the holidays, like a present, going to their house to meet their family, overdoing it on Valentine's Day. There's a lot of slippery slopes that if you're not very secure in your relationship, you can mess up and send the wrong note or set the wrong tone. So while it's
Well,
not discouraged, it's not encouraged either.
well, and it's so easy now because some people still want to have they want to have some warmth in the wintertime. So they might say, hey, you know what? Even though it's not dating season, I might need some love in my life around Christmas,
Exactly.
but it might be just lust too. I mean, who
Yeah,
knows?
and I was
Yeah.
talking to our buddy Steve, who was on the show last week with the Drunk History, and
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Steve-O.
Steve was with us last week, and he and I got to talking about online dating now because he's in the major metro areas, and I don't necessarily live in the sticks. I live in a smaller community, so you get different results when you online date. And Steve had a very good point because with Tinder now and Bumble and some of the other websites for dating, it's swiping left or right. And he had made the comment that dating anymore today, if you meet them on one of those websites where you're swiping, is dating is disposable. You are a disposable person because they are
Oh,
seriously just swiping until they meet the next person after you. If you're not more interested in them than the new person, they'll just keep on swiping till they meet that person. So you, by definition, become disposable.
that's
And
kind of sad, isn't it?
yeah, it is. And I got to thinking about it, and he's not wrong. I mean, he's right. And it never occurred to me, and I'll admit I'm guilty of it, and I've been a victim of it too. In the short time I've done that, and then that's why I don't like online dating anymore.
Well, I mean, now, okay, I want to preface this by saying I've really never done online dating, so
Yeah.
I've never had to do that. But what I do know of it, so many of those apps now are the first determining factor is solely the looks of the person, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
so you're gonna swipe someone who is, oh, how would you call it, ugly?
Hmm.
Like right away, you're gonna, I don't know, swipe left or right or whichever way you swipe the person. As soon as I mean, you're already gonna filter out a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So you're right. I guess it is disposable that no one's gonna look at your heart or look at the kind of person you are. They're gonna look, are you good looking or are you ugly?
And that's what got me looking at society as a whole now because we're definitely turning into a instant gratification society. You know, and it's gone from just Amazon Prime, where if you order it now and you have a Prime account, you can get it tomorrow. To now, if you don't like the person that you just met online, just keep swiping. You'll find the next one. It's a numbers game, and
Yeah.
that's something that you would joke about in our younger days. If that woman doesn't like it, don't worry about it. There's 3.5 billion other ones on the planet. You'll find someone who does.
Right.
Which is still great advice. Don't get me wrong, but if you say it crassly, it sounds bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great. It definitely doesn't give the person that you're with the confidence that, oh, I'm special to you versus 3.5 billion other people.
And that's it, man. If you're trying to instill confidence in a person that you're building a relationship, I mean, how do you know that they're still not swiping or you're still not swiping, or how do you even start that trust today? It's like I said, it's such an instant gratification society. If you're not getting the gratification you want, you'll go find it from someone who give it to you.
So Scott, help me understand if you've done this before. So when you like someone visually, do you instantly have to swipe them to the positive side of the screen in order to see their bio, or do you get to see their bio like right away, or how does that work?
You can see their bio, you can see their stats, like height, weight, like where they're from, their interests. So you see that all. If you choose to look at everything, you can see that before you swipe.
Okay, so yeah, so it's not like you get the picture first, you swipe them to the positive, then you get to see what their personality's like.
Exactly.
Or left. Now, if you swipe someone the wrong way and you get rid of them, are they gone forever, or can you get them back if you wanted to?
And that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that because, and to be completely honest, I was on there for maybe a few months back, and then off and on since, and I just don't use it regularly enough to see if they cycle through.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I think that would be the tough part is that, when you look at someone and you say, oh, instantly they're attractive or they're not attractive, swipe right or swipe left, you do feel like they're a little bit disposable because you're making a judgment based on a physical appearance. And a lot of times that physical appearance, some people just take good photographs of themselves, but that's not what they even look like, really.
Yeah, that's almost false advertising though too. I mean, that's a whole nother ballgame. You have to be what you're advertising, and that's the hard part with online dating too, because everyone can write a great bio. It doesn't matter if you're on eHarmony or Tinder or what have you. Anyone can write an amazing bio, but if you can't back up what you're trying to sell, man, that's why you're single.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. So then you read their bio, and their bio is always talking to you about the greatest things that are about them. Then you go on the first date. You make an instant decision. Well, okay, they don't look anything like the picture. That was a big mistake. Or, oh yeah, they didn't say that they have, ingrown toe nail that makes their foot look like gangrene or something. All those little things that drive us nuts.
Yeah.
You don't get that. So disposable is like, well, you better be the perfect person on multiple levels or you're going to get swiped to the left after one date.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I understand that they're just providing a service of allowing you the opportunity to meet somebody if they also swipe to the positive with you. But I guess I don't know. It's not as intimate as it used to be. It seems more sterile, more clinical, and just more arbitrary also, And what really drove that home for me is when Steve was showing us, he pulled up the app and he just started swiping left or right. I mean, he's like, look, I'll just keep doing this all day and some will hit, some won't, and that's really just the world we live in today. It's just we're an instant gratification society that wants it now and doesn't want to wait for the good things.
And yet, I mean, people are meeting their significant others online, so it must work, or some of it must work.
Yeah, I think so. Like Match worked for me one time for a while. I got a 3.5-4 year relationship out of it, so I'd say that worked. It didn't deliver on the full long term, but it was still good.
But when you looked at the profile, you saw the picture and you saw her bio. Mm-hmm. And her bio probably had things that you said, "Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that." But until you actually talked to her, you weren't going to really know. Yeah.
Like you can email, you can text, you can talk on the phone, but until you actually have that one-on-one human interaction, spending time with them to see how the chemistry really is. Because there's been a lot of times in life where you're able to talk to someone, via text or over the phone, and you vibe really well. But when you get face to face, it's hard to you almost don't have that chemistry. It's hard to get that going. Make sense?
Yeah, I think so. And let's be honest. I mean, sometimes I wish that we could go back and make our profiles say, what are your absolute deal breakers? Or,
Yeah.
What are the things that, like instead of putting all the good qualities, what are your bad qualities?
Right.
And then we could judge someone based on, ooh, gosh,
But
they
don't you think they're gonna lie about their bad qualities though? Like, what are your bad qualities? Oh, sometimes I just care too much. No, come on, bullshit. Like, be serious.
Well, okay. So, for example, is like on a Tinder app or on one of those applications, wouldn't it be nice to know if they want to have kids?
They ask that. That's generally
Oh, they do ask that. Okay.
they do ask
Would it
that.
be
Yeah.
nice to know whether or not they manage their money properly?
Yeah, that's true. But don't you think everybody will say yes to that though on a question like that? That's kind of arbitrary. Like, it's hard for me for those questions because you feel like people can lie on that because they feel like they can snow you over long enough.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems like nowadays it's just so much easier just to have an app that you can look for people that, you don't have to go out on the dating scene, go to a bar and try to pick up someone or, I mean, at least it makes it easier for you to do that. And so maybe that is what you sacrifice the getting to know someone, and that disposable feeling that you get with just right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left,
Right.
and picking someone out. Because, I mean, could you imagine now going out and just, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, okay, Noreen and I decide we're going to break up. Boom, we're done. She kicked me out, whatever. I wouldn't even know how to start dating other than on an app nowadays. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Yeah. And it's funny as you get older. They, I don't want to say it gets easier, but it almost gets harder at the same point because once life hands you some baggage or breaks you a little bit, everyone handles it differently. And
Yeah.
and apps can help you meet people, but you I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little old school where I prefer the old fashioned way, where I'll go out and I'll meet somebody, whether it's at an activity or through friends or what have you. But I don't know if I can sit there and swipe or even pay a subscription for a dating service again. I think I'd rather meet someone the organic way. If it doesn't happen, man, it doesn't happen. It's not that big a deal to me.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the thing is that if it is a big deal for people or they want to, they want to go and meet someone, it seems like nowadays that's probably the only or preferred way to do it. Like I'm in Phoenix right now. I couldn't imagine going to a bar or a club and trying to pick someone up, right? I mean,
Right.
I just couldn't imagine meeting someone like that. I mean, nowadays it's like, oh, how easy, boom, 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 boom. Back in when my grandmother became a widow, I mean, she put an ad in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Single woman looking for single man or whatever. And she said she got all kinds of weird calls. So even back then, when you put in like 65-year-old woman, single, looking for a man who wants to, travel together, blah, 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 that it was like old school Tinder, but you just didn't see the person,
Yeah.
So you had to call, then you had to go on a date, then you had to, meet them. And, I'm sure a lot of these people I'd never, well, that's where the term blind date comes from, right? Now
Yeah.
they get rid of the blind date because hey, I saw you. I know what you look like.
Yeah. Right.
I still don't know anything about you, but
it's an interesting world. I mean, it's a new dynamic that I guess not new. It's been around for a while, but I think back to a couple years ago when I was getting back into the dating world and trying to figure out how to do it. It was like you said, I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know what square one was. I didn't know what was the best way. And, how do you find out if someone's interested? Is this what you do? And you have to make sure you put the right picture up there. Otherwise, you look bad because they can misjudge you. I mean, they can cause a lot of anxiety.
and I gotta think sometimes too, people will read someone's bio and maybe their answers are things that that you wouldn't necessarily want in a partner, but because they look good, they'll give them a chance. Like, oh, well, you look pretty good, so I'll give you a chance to see if maybe your looks can overcome some of the things in your bio that I don't like. And people try to force it. I'm sure that they try to force it, like, okay, maybe we can make this work. Maybe we can make this work. Nope, we can't make it. Oh, dang, man, maybe we can make this work.
And that's providing that person that you're hoping you can make work with wants to swipe the same way. If they don't swipe the same way, it's a moot point.
And that's the thing I didn't understand. So if I swipe and I like you, but you don't swipe and like me, then we would never connect.
You would never connect.
And then if we never connect, then how do I hear from you, or do you hear from me, or does the app say, okay, this person said they liked you, do you want to see?
Yeah, like
okay.
If you both connect, like, you'll get a notification saying you both matched, so someone make the first move.
Okay, wait a minute. So, okay, there's a good question. So if I swipe that I like you, do they get a notification saying, hey, this person liked you, do you want to go forward with him?
No.
Okay, so if I say I like you, then it just comes at some point, do I get in their list to be liked by them? That's the thing I don't understand.
Think so. You do, because I think it's however they set up their algorithms, you end up in their stream of photos they can swipe to, and from that point, if they swipe yes also, then it will match you. If they swipe no, it just goes away.
Wow.
Yeah. Hence disposable.
Well, and I guess that would help too in the rejection of you. I mean, if you swipe yes, oh, I like the way she looks, and they don't swipe no, you don't have to get the awkward, dude, you don't have a chance with me, so get the hell out of my face, right. Which could be more emotionally demoralizing when you're on the dating scene. So I guess that's a positive of that system, is that you can at least not get rejected, just flat out rejected.
Right. I mean, I
so
guess
maybe
you're
that.
You're right.
That's
you find the silver lining in it, however which way you want it.
Yeah,
to.
you know me, Scotty. I'll find a silver lining in anything.
Yeah. Good for you. You got rejected nicely, but I don't know, man. It's just a different world out there. And talking to Steve, I guess it made me feel better about what I do. Not that I set the world on fire, but I prefer just meeting people face to face, and actually getting to know them instead of just swiping.
Yeah, and in the big city, maybe that's the other thing too. Is in a big city, then it's a numbers game. I mean, you're dealing with 1.5 million people, so 700,000 girls.
Yeah,
that might be in the. And let's say that we start doing the numbers, and maybe half those girls are in the age group that you could. So 350,000 people. It'd be hard to go on a date with 350,000 people.
Yeah, and like you said, once you start drilling down, so 350,000. Now you have to make sure they're actually willing to. Looking to date, or they're single, and then they meet the rest of your criteria. That number gets drilled down less and less and less. So you get away from that 700,000 number pretty quick.
Well, and I think too, the other hard part is, everyone can put their best foot forward. You need to find out what their worst foot forward is, and try to make a determination. Okay, this is what's going to make it so I can't be with that person.
Maybe that's an app we should create where you date based on the person's worst features. You still put the pictures and all that, but they tell you flat out, these are my vices. These are the things that I do that annoy people. And you decide, man, are these deal breakers for me or not?
Because if you put down the worst things, like, I'm thinking of myself, the worst thing is that, I like to embarrass myself in bars by just screaming out loudly.
That is true.
Or, I like to do drunk history with my friends, or I do a podcast with one of my good friends. If I put all that stuff down there, maybe some girl would say, oh man,
yeah,
I don't even want to get involved. Why would I waste my time?
Yeah. And someone might say, you know what? If that's as bad as he is, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
He's not that bad.
Scott, we could call it opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah. And then we could say, look, we're giving you the areas of opportunity for improvement candidates. And then instead of like giving your best qualities, you give your worst. Like I'm a toenail biter, so I pick my toenails and I chew on my nails.
Yeah.
maybe that's a deal breaker. Maybe that's not.
Or I wear yoga pants, but only so I can sit on the couch. I don't actually go to yoga.
That's true.
I just tell people that. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh, I mean, Scott, I think we're onto something, bro. I think we're
think
totally onto something.
Maybe there's something there. You're right.
And maybe we could get one of our programmers to create an app for us that we could do that, because that'd be fun.
Well, you have the programmer friends, so if we can figure out how to make an app like that, I say we look into it, because it can't be rocket science.
Well, and I mean, I think it's like anything else. People don't mind that we're not perfect. I think that's where more people on these dating sites get in trouble. It's like, hey, wait a minute, you told me you were this, this, and this, and you're nothing like that. That pisses me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So maybe it'd be like, wow, you went to Opportunity, you put your profile on, and you like to hang out with your mother every other day.
Yeah. Or
you know what? That's good, because I hang out with my mother every other day. Yeah, we have something. We have something in common.
Yeah, that's it. And maybe that's what people need to see when it comes to online dating. Not the perfect vision you're trying to instill, but the reality of the situation, which isn't that bad still.
I think it would be fun to do instead of putting your prettiest picture, put your worst, most embarrassing picture.
Right.
Like the one where your gut's been hanging out a little bit because you drank too much beer, and just that. So then someone swiping right or left says, well, if that's the worst they look, I can handle that. I can live with that.
But don't you think at some point some people will start lying about that though too? It's like, oh, this is my bad picture. This is terrible, and it's really not that bad.
Yeah, that's probably true. That might be true. Yeah,
but I guess if they're paying us a monthly subscription for that, that's not my problem.
I mean, the good thing is that because we've already established that this is not dating season, we have 6 months before we need to come up with the release of our app. So
really, we have until Valentine's Day.
We have until the day after Valentine's Day.
Oh, it's true. It's because we launch on Valentine's Day. We can get a lot of people going through breakups that night and get them ready for the fresh season.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. If you are going through the dating scene, while looks are very important, and the positives of someone's personality are very important, it's always good to find out what the negatives are, because if you can live with the negatives, the positives will be that much better.
So that's what I want to find out, man. If you're listening today, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Carnage, and tell us, what are some of the worst qualities you found in a person you were dating because you went online dating and met them and found out that they were not who they said they were?
Yeah.
Tell us. Hit us up. Hey, if you want to see one of Tom's gifts about this episode, hit him up at liquid_EP on Twitter and or Instagram. He's usually good for a chuckle on his Star Trek Swear Trek, is that what it's called? Where he finds a new Star Trek GIF every week.
Yeah, and those are the gifts that keep giving the whole entire year through. So we love them.
As we draw into the holiday season again, thank you guys for listening to us and coming on this ride with us every week. I know some of you listen religiously, and we really appreciate that, because sometimes we get done with these podcasts and we're like, what the hell are we just talking about? And you guys love those. And the ones we try really hard at, you guys think we're idiots. So either way, we appreciate that you're listening. Thank you for everything. We did take the poll on should there be a Hans Gruber 2 Memorial Pub Crawl. It was an overwhelmingly yes to do it.
Okay. All right.
But we have to find a time and date that works, so that will be determined.
I think also the one comment I did here was we need to do the podcast prior to the actual crawl.
Yeah, no recording. No recordings will be done during the pub crawl.
Yeah, so if we are able to find the time, it'll be record first, then do the pub crawl.
Absolutely, I agree.
Awesome.
All right, buddy. Well, you have to go hang out with your mom some. So why don't you go ahead and take us home?
All right. Well, hey, everyone. Welcome to the Christmas season. Thank you for listening. We always appreciate you guys. As Scott said earlier, if you want to give us ideas for the next Drunken History, it was such a positive experience that we're probably going to do it again, even though our executive producer probably won't like it. So hook us up on Facebook and give us ideas of what you'd like to see. Scott, as always, it's always good talking to you, buddy. That was Scott. I am Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some liquid carnage.